Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and we're virtual folks still here in Alpharetta, but not in our studio that we would normally be in inside of Renaissance Bank. But if, speaking of Renaissance Bank, if you've got a problem with your current bank, that problem may be every time you call, you get some automated phone tree on an 800 number, or you can't get an answer on a loan or what have you. Well, go check out the folks at Renaissance Bank. I've got personal experience with them. They do a great job. They actually answer their own phones, and they've got 200 offices of great folks, filled with great folks all over the South, ready to serve you. So go to renaissancebank.com, check them out, and find your local office, and I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Maxwell Bentley. Maxwell is with the Bentley Media Group. Maxwell, welcome.
Hey, John. It's great to be with you virtually. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So tell us a little bit about you and Bentley Media Group. How do you serve the market out there?
Sure. So first and foremost, I'm a strategy guy first and a video guy second. So in the age of COVID, we've been helping businesses pivot and stay top of mind and stay relevant to their customers. And we're also helping them find new ways to create revenue opportunities and create profitable relationships. Our weapon of choice just happens to be creating high quality, visually compelling video content. That's what I've been up to for the past 5 years. It's been a passion of mine for a long time. I grew up making short films when I was a kid, back when video cameras had videotapes. I would make little short films and set up a news desk and make news shows. And when TiVo came out, I would grab the remote and pick out movie mistakes as I saw them on TV and things like that. So it's been a passion of mine for a long time. And recently graduated film school last year. And so it's fun to be able to do what I love doing and just help my clients be successful in the process.
Wow. So you've been at this for a while. It's just, you're only now getting paid for it, huh? Is that what you're telling me, Maxwell?
Well, something like that.
Yeah.
Been in business for 5 years, started off as a hustle. I started off, really didn't expect anything to come out of it. I just started off, I wanted to make a little extra money so I could live off of something other than coffee and ramen and pay tuition.
Sure.
And over the years, it's evolved, and now it's my full-time gig, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
You started while you were in school.
I started off in computer science, studying computer science at the time.
Okay.
And one day I was in class studying how electricity flows through the CPU and just decided that it wasn't for me. And so
that was the tipping point, huh?
Yeah. And I had started my company at that time. And luckily my school, University of North Georgia, had just come out with a new film program. And so I jumped right into that. And that was one of the best decisions I had ever made, because now I'm doing something that I really enjoy doing.
I want to get to your business in a second here, because you've got some great things to talk about there. But what advice would you give to student entrepreneurs that start their business in college as the quote? We hear all this term about side hustle. And that sometimes I think does not take seriously what is a serious business for students, right? I mean, side hustle sounds a little dismissive to me.
Well, it's the person who has the will to start something on their own just to see what happens from it. And it's something that I wish more people would do. And it's something I encourage I think everybody should give themselves a chance to do that. I think it doesn't really, and you don't have to be in school. It really doesn't matter how old you were. Colonel Sanders, creator of KFC, he started when he was in his 50s. And, you don't have to, I think a lot of people worry about when they start a business, they think they have to make the next Facebook, or they think they have to make the next Uber. Otherwise, what's the point? And that's simply untrue. And so what I would tell a student entrepreneur is absolutely go for it. Even if you, at the risk of falling flat on your face, you owe it to yourself to give it a try. And if it's something that you really want, you've got a lot of work ahead of you. You've got a lot of balancing time, balancing schoolwork. In fact, one of the past, we'll get to 2020 in a second, I assume. One of my most challenging years was when I was in school in 2018. I had a few semesters to go. I had one of the most challenging semesters of my life. I had two very difficult classes together, film, pre-production, and then the business of film. And basically we had to write a massive business plan. And I asked the professor, I was like, do you mind if I can tailor the business plan to my own business? And he was like, no, the context of the class is you have to make a business plan for a feature film. And I'm just like, crap. Well, here I am trying to kill two birds with one stone. But
that guy ought to be fired. But anyway, that's my opinion. So he should have said yes immediately, but we'll move on from that. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But so there's going to be challenges. It seems like hustling, when you think about hustle culture, it seems to be glamorous.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a lot of people bragging. They seem to brag about how they were up pulling all-nighters and, just spending ridiculous amounts of time. And my response to that is, yes, you will have the occasional all-nighter, but you have to take care of yourself too. Make time to take care of you and do what's important for you. If you spend every waking hour on your business, then, you might ought to reconsider, please make sure you're taking care of yourself in the process. That's what I would say. Go for it. Accept the challenge. Don't let any person tell you can't, and just be ready for the challenges and for that jungle that you're about to cross.
Now we've got to get to COVID-19 because that's had a particular impact on video production companies like yours, and that's kind of our theme today. But before we get to that, I wish you would talk a little bit about the kind of clients you work with, and that might set us up for talking about the particular challenges of this year.
Absolutely. So I've worked with a handful of small business owners this year, and really over the past 5 to several entrepreneurs, nonprofit groups, anybody who has a story to tell, anybody who they want to move the needle in ways that make sense to them, whether it's they want to make more sales on a particular product or a service, or they want to boost engagement on social media, and they think they can do it with video, then they give me a call, we create a whole strategy, and we make that happen. We also have a couple of evergreen clients, such as universities, chambers of commerce that we work with as well on more corporate marketing strategies. And specifically during COVID, we've been working a lot with small business owners to help them stay relevant and help them stay top of mind, which seems to be it doesn't seem to be, it is. It is a challenge these days, especially with everything going on in the current climate.
Yeah, so let's get into that because, what you put your finger on is that video marketing is really important for businesses out there, for engagement, et cetera, for all the reasons you mentioned. but you've got a problem with the video production piece of that, right? In terms of social distancing. So it's nice that people might want a video, but how do you do it? So address how you've been able to pivot and been able to navigate this environment.
So we haven't had a shoot. We haven't had an in-person video shoot since February. And March happened. Everybody slammed on the brakes. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I had the answer right away. I was laying on my couch, miserable, thinking that, everything was crumbling in front of my eyes. And there was a period of time, specifically in March, where I had about $180 to my name across all of my accounts. And so everything was just drying up. And so I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm spending too much time watching the news. I'm spending too much time filling my mind with all of this negative energy. It's time to stop worrying about the problem and start working towards a solution. And so what I ended up doing was contacting my previous clients that I had existing footage for and offer different ways that we can repackage that in ways that make sense to them during this pandemic. And that worked. And so we got quite a bit of business from that starting back up in April. And really June is when we started to see a big uptick in inquiries. And unsurprisingly, that's when there seemed to be a spike in COVID cases. But June, it seemed to be when we were in some weird sense of normalcy so people started making moves and moving their money around more. But we had some success with repackaging old footage. And I said, okay, so how can I get new clients and help them without doing an in-person shoot necessarily? Enter stock footage. And so I have to be careful when I talk about stock footage because there's a bit of a negative connotation that comes with it.
Yeah.
When you talk about stock footage, some people think it's generic or it's plain or it's boring or whatever. And in fact, the complete opposite is true. In 2020, stock footage is more cinematic now than it ever has been. So what we did was launch a product or service called Contactless Commercials. And it's where we create short form videos about a business or about a service or a product made entirely from high quality cinematic footage that we source from our stock footage partners. And so what I've found as we've created a few of those already now, what I've found is that we can deliver quicker. We can do it relatively inexpensively compared to organizing all these different shoots and things like that. And so it's turned out to be a really effective service that we'll be able to use even if there isn't a pandemic. And so the truth is producers have been making videos in that format using stock footage. They've been doing that for years. So what I'm doing is really nothing new, but we're just presenting it as an effective solution to market a business during a pandemic.
We're here with Maxwell Bentley, and Maxwell is the founder, executive producer of his own company, the Bentley Media Group. So Maxwell, I guess a couple things out of that strike me. I mean, one is, once you got over the shock, which everybody went through, so there's no crime in that. What did you do? I mean, you reached out to clients with your solution. I mean, you didn't sit on the couch with ice cream and cower. You reached out I did do that for a while. Well, I mean, for a while, right? Well, yeah, but everybody did for a while. But I mean, you reached out to clients with a solution, right? To their issues there at the time, which people had. So, I mean, what did that look like? How did that feel as you did that? What kind of response did you get from folks? How did that work out?
I didn't realize it would be as simple as just opening up the filing cabinet and talking to, right? And just looking at all of my past accounts.
Sure.
Because they've already worked with us. They know that what we're capable of.
Uh-huh.
But it's something similar in January. January 1, I sent out an email. Hey, let me know what your 2020 needs are. It's something as simple as that. And I got positive responses just from that.
Mm.
And so doing that, being able to get up off the couch, put the ice cream away, and get to a point where, okay, this is my shot.
Mm.
And so I turned to existing clients. It really wasn't me saying, okay, here's what I can do. It was me talking to them and saying, okay, what issues are you facing right now?
Mm.
What's your challenge? And because we've all got them. Like what's stopping you? And once we determine a solution to that, then I'm able to help them come in and market that and create video content that can get people excited about it. I'll give you an example. We recently worked with a travel agency, Big Creek Travel here in Johns Creek.
Mm.
They wanted to create a commercial or a video, and they were actually our first client to take advantage of we had just released Contactless Commercials at that time. And so what was important to them is marketing safe travel.
Mm-hmm.
They're a wealth of knowledge. They know where to travel, where the lockdowns are, how, what airlines are doing, or implementing what specific social distancing practices and things like that. And so we made a commercial for them, and they got all sorts of positive response just from after sharing it and putting it on their website and things like that. And so to answer your question, it's really a matter of going in, having a conversation, determining what the challenge is or what the struggle is, and getting that strategy first. And then having that creative conversation. Okay, how can we make this happen with video content? And that's been my MO.
I think you need to teach a class. I mean, I'm serious, because I talk to business owners a lot, and there are a whole lot of them that don't get it's about having a conversation with the client about what their problems are, as opposed to talking about my thing, whatever my thing is. I mean, your thing is a video, talking about problems and problems that need to be solved first. So congratulations on that. You just helped a lot of folks out there, if they'll follow that advice from Maxwell, make thousands of dollars, because that's the secret to business success. So congratulations on that.
Absolutely. But I appreciate your kind words. It's funny that you mentioned that I should teach a class, because one of the things that I did in March was I released an online course that teaches business owners how to create selfie videos in a high quality way that help them boost engagement on social media and ultimately set them up so they can get more sales.
Mm.
And, when you look at when you're taking a selfie video, it feels kind of awkward. It's like, okay, the course teaches you where to look when you're recording, so you look like you're looking into the camera.
Right.
What type of things to talk about and how to talk about them. and importantly, how to build an audience that's going to receive them without spending money on paid ads. And so the course teaches you how to do it in a very organic, grassroots fashion. And I've seen success from sharing selfie videos, and I've had clients do that as well. And they've seen it's a very powerful tool, because you're speaking, when you do that, you're leaving all the professional video gear behind and you're addressing your prospects directly. It feels very authentic and very human. Mm-hmm. And so it's something that I encourage everybody to do. And what I found is a lot of people are self-conscious, or, they just don't know how. And that's totally fine. That's completely normal. And so what I did was I created a course. And the thing is, I left all of my video gear out of it. I created a video course completely from my phone, from the camera on my phone. So that way I was able to demonstrate all the techniques that I was talking about. It's called Vignette University. Okay. And I have a special offer for your listeners. If they go to specialoffers.vignetteuniversity.com, VIGNETTE, university.com, then they'll be able to come in, take 60% off the course right from there. And it's a 45 minutes with some 10 minutes of bonus content at the end. And that's one of the things that I did. It took, in March, I spent about 5 days straight making it, just so I could get a little bit of revenue, just so I could keep the lights on. And then it's been fun though. It's been fun. Just when I work with clients, I'm able to give this as a nice, course that they can come in and be like, oh, this is cool. This is how I can, it's great to be able to show clients how to make content on their own, because that's a very powerful tool. And what they don't realize, the tool is right there in their front pocket.
Well, and what you've done there, and again, that's another lesson that business owners listening to this can take away, is you create an offering for your, those that can't afford your full production services, or those that can, but they're too cheap too cheap to pay. You knew I was going to bring pricing into this. Sure. Too cheap to pay you what you're asking for your valued services. So what you did was offer, put in a service offering there that made sense for that segment of your clients.
Yeah, and it's something that I can give to even the clients who do pay for our production services. Mm-hmm. It's something I can just attach and just give to them, and even give them a few seats to it. And I think everybody should have a course. I mean, it's a great way for folks to be able to get to know you for you, and also for you to demonstrate the expertise that you have, or different things that your know-how. And so it's been effective. I can say that. I never saw myself making an online course, but we did it. And it was during the lockdown. It was during the stay-at-home order. Mm-hmm. So I was filming in a very empty Ponce City market. I was just walk, because I live up on the 5th floor, and I have my business here as well. Okay. So it was very eerie walking around, and there's nobody. There's a big shopping mall. Nobody's here, but it was a very nice background, and I was able to just come in. I was just walking around. Imagine this crazy looking dude walking around with his phone out, just walking around this empty mall. But that's what I did, and I made it a point to not really try to force anything, not try to be salesy or anything like that. I just wanted to speak from the heart about how folks can take advantage of the best resource they have, which is their personality. and their know-how and their wealth of knowledge, capture that with the camera that they have in their pocket and put that on social media.
Folks, great words here from Maxwell Bentley with Bentley Media Group. So, Maxwell, this is, wow. I mean, I could keep going for a while here, but I want to get to your business in terms of your video, kind of more your full-scale video production. And folks, if you're interested in that course, we'll have the URL for Maxwell's special offer in the show notes as well. Talk about the kind of clients you're serving right now. Maybe you've got a particular, you mentioned Big Creek Travel, but maybe you've got another success story you might want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are also working with universities and schools to help them create online video resources for things like orientation, promotional videos, for things like campus services, like dining hall, for steps that students need to take when they arrive on campus, because there's so many different regulations that are ever changing right now. There's the University System of Georgia schools are held to different regulations than private universities and things like that. We've also been able to help them take presentations online. And so creating a format where it's video content that students actually want to watch, right? That's my goal with clients. That's really my goal with everybody, but particularly with universities. If you've ever seen online orientation videos, I don't know, I've seen examples of some before. They just seem kind of blah. And so my goal is to, with everything that I do, is to make it exciting, because this is an investment. Ultimately, this is an investment to create compelling video content. I want to make it something where you put it out there and set it up to where people watch it and make them go, wow, and make them contact you. That's my ultimate goal. How can we make it exciting? And so universities, Kennesaw State University, they've been a big client for a while. And we're also we're starting to work with a CPA firm as well, Hawkins Beaudry. And we're helping them on a few different fronts, on a video front, on a marketing front, strategy as well. And so, funny, with Hawkins Beaudry, they have 1,500 existing clients. And the owner, the new owner, he had just purchased the company, and he was looking for ways to be able to essentially sell himself to those existing clients and establish trust. Mm-hmm. And so we have another product called Social Media Vignettes, where we film our clients speaking extemporaneously. Ooh, that's an SAT word. Too early for that. It's where we film them speaking off the cuff about topics that they know about. And so I'm actually working with him, and I'm also working with a health coaching company, Gail from Align Health Coaching. We're working with them to create a video strategy where I film them speaking off the cuff about topics, create from our guided conversation, which would probably be about an hour where I film them. I would create and deliver about 25 videos that they can take and just deliver and just put on social media. And if you think about it, 25 videos of them speaking about all these different topics once a week, that's 6 months of content. So that's turned out to be a very effective way where we can do a socially distanced shoot, capture them in the wild, so to speak, and create this awesome video package that they can have. Not just one video, it's a series of videos on all these different topics, and then show them how to leverage all of their social platforms, their email networks, email blast, even including videos in their email signatures, as all as different ways for them to get videos in front of as many eyeballs as they can and in front of their target audience. Wow.
Folks, a lot there for you to chew on that Maxwell can help you with. And this has been great, Maxwell. Loved having you on, but we've got to get to the really important stuff, which is how do people get in touch with you? if they've heard something, right? That's the most important thing. How can they get in touch with you if you've lit them up about something you can help them with?
Sure, absolutely. So the easiest and most comfortable way to find us is to go to our website and check out our portfolio. We're at weonlyfilmeverything.com. You can see our portfolio and see some of the clients that we've worked with. And we also have a pretty cool blog by my blog writer, Julia Rajeski. She writes these awesome articles specifically about share fright and how to overcome it, how to leverage selfie video marketing in your business. And contact info is on our website. You can also send me an email, Maxwell@thebentleymediagroup.com. That's Maxwell, like the coffee, at the Bentley, like the car, Bentley, mediagroup.com. And yeah, that's how you can get in touch.
That's great. Maxwell Bentley with Bentley Media Group. Thanks so much for being with us.
Absolutely, John. This is a pleasure. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Folks, just a quick reminder that if you've got some other problems that go beyond video, let's say your books are a mess, maybe you've got some administrative tasks in your business that you need to get off your plate so you can do some sales and marketing or something like that. Well, I've got an answer for you, and it involves a firm that's been virtual for 18 years, so they know how to operate in this environment. It's Office Angels. Essie Escobedo is the chief executive angel at Office Angels, and she's got a whole team of heavenly angels that she picks one, they fly in, get the job done, and fly back out. So she's awesome. OfficeAngels.us is the website. You can also give her a buzz, and at 770-442-9246. I'll get it there. So she's awesome. And I use her services myself, so I know that personally. So by the way, let me throw that in. Just another quick reminder that this show is on all the major podcast platforms. We would love it if you would go on your favorite podcast app. Of course, we'd love it if you subscribe. We'd love it even more if you would rate us and give us a great review, because what it helps, it's not about us. What it helps us do is promote the people that are on this show and the great work they're doing, folks like Maxwell and the great work they're doing, because it helps folks find the show and find out about what the services of the folks that we have on the show. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Connect with us on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We're at North Fulton BRX. So for my guest, Maxwell Bentley, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.